So welcome to the Data Friday. My name is Michael Olschimke. I'm the CEO of Scalefree. We run this session here every Friday, apparently. It's Data Friday at 11 o'clock Central European Standard Time to allow you, the audience, to ask questions all around data vaults, cloud computing, any data-driven topics, and big data, right? So if you receive multiple questions, then we would essentially cherry pick them to a bit, maybe put them into some topics sometimes. If there would be no questions at all, and during the summer break, we had, like 2 weeks ago, we had no questions at all anymore. I'm going to talk about a cluster. So it happens once in a while, but not very often. That's good for me because I don't make much progress at the moment on the cluster. I'm heading for vacation, by the way, next week, and that's 3 weeks. I'll find out if there's a replacement, if somebody jumps in and continues the sessions. But I will be working to some a bit as well. So let's see. But I'm getting my first emails coming in, but it doesn't matter. So we received a question last time from one here in the audience. Let me just jump in there. All right, it's essentially a continuation of the question that we had last time, essentially, where we discussed a booking transaction, I think, in a bank or in some accounting department, not sure on that one, but money transfers, bookings with bank accounts involved, currency amounts involved, and so on. And we discussed last time that we would model this as a non-historized link, what the person here did as well on the project. And we discussed last time about the business keys for the account numbers, for the IBAN numbers. Is it one hub or two hubs? We discussed to have only one hub, but then reference it multiple times from the non-historized link. And we see the structure here. Let me jump in for the next slide for the model. You see that the only difference is to what we discussed last time. I would refer to the hub account twice, so there's a hub reference missing here. That's the only the big important piece essentially. Other than that, the model is relatively to what I would model as well. I wouldn't call this a dependent child link I discussed last time. I would call this a non-historized link because I assume that a money transfer is represented by one record, and that was a discussion last time. But there's a full video on YouTube these days, so you can check it out on our channel and check out the previous part of this question essentially. Now, the second question here on the same scenario is essentially down here. Do you think that storing descriptive data in an additional satellite because of GDPR is in this case a good idea? So let's check out the satellite. We got some descriptive data down here, like the address data, personal data in the satellite. Now, the thing is this. When you're dealing with a non-historized link or a non-historized link or dependent child link, we said in a training, you can denormalize attributes into the link structure. And well, in the training, we do this in the non-historized link section, but we also do this for dependent child links because we want to produce facts in both cases. And in both cases, I want to essentially reduce the need for joining the satellite when I'm doing the aggregations, at least for casual users, which is all good. So that's number one. So we can denormalize attributes. That's what the team did as well. They denormalize them here into the link. And you typically keep all those attributes in the satellite where you don't need them for aggregation purposes. But now comes GDPR into play, right? That makes everything a bit more complicated. The idea is this. In GDPR, it's all about security and privacy. So I want to be able to secure the access for specific records and specific attributes to specific users, control who can read what. And then it's about privacy, which means essentially in our terms, be able to delete a consumer record, or better, to reduce a consumer record to the non-personal attributes. That's actually our goal, right? Now, for privacy in GDPR, the key principle is separation. You have to, but just like in security, you have to separate the personal data from the non-personal data. That's number one. So you can't store them in one entity, at least if you want to be able to perform a physical delete, which is of preference because it's better than logical delete, which is also accepted by law. But if you can, you always go for a physical delete. So that's number one. But a physical delete requires separation, period. And in this case, the option of moving personal attributes into the satellite is not an option. You have to do it. You have to essentially move those attributes even if you want to use them for aggregation purposes, even if you want to, let's say, group by them, and that's a big one, because the measure values, you should be able, they should be non-personal. But what about the dimension attributes? Let's say you want to aggregate by the last name or something, right? Or maybe so aggregation by the text identification number, for example, that kind of stuff. In this case, those attributes, that even though you want to aggregate by them, they must be in a satellite. You can't move them into the link structure, because then you can't delete those attributes independently from the fact itself. That's the problem. So those attributes must be here in and you maybe want to consider two satellites, one for the personal attributes and one for the non-personal attributes, because you want to be able to delete the personal attributes from the facts independently from the non-personal attributes, which you don't want to denormalize all of them into the link, right? So that's the idea. So I would expect one non-historized link only with non-personal elements, one satellite with the personal attributes, one satellite with the non-personal attributes. The satellites are joined one-to-one. Now, if you can't separate the personal attributes from the fact table, from the fact table itself, let's say they must be inside the table, which I don't believe. But the solution would be you have to separate, period, if you want to essentially be able to implement a physical delete, which means that in the worst case, you might end up with two fact entities, two non-historized links. But to be honest, if you go that route, you can also have a satellite attached to the link, because the price is more or less the same, and the satellite is a better design, I would say. That would be, at least without knowing your data, without knowing your scenario for real, right? Would be most probably my preferred design. One non-historized link and then one or two satellites. Yeah, because I believe the title is not a personal attribute. And when the time comes and you have to remove personal data, you delete them. You delete the records from the satellite for the personal attributes, the personal satellite. That's where you remove the deltas from. Remember to rebuild bridge tables if you have some grain shifts in between, right? Grain shift between this table set here, the raw data vault, and your information marks. And the other thing is, there's another additional topic which we might discuss also when you ask the right questions. You can discuss next time, for example. How do we deal with the fact that you want to get rid of old transaction for a certain customer? Let's say you're committing, we're just in a project where the client in retail commits to the consumers that they only keep track of their transactional data for a certain amount of time. Let's say 3 years, 2 years, I don't know. And after these 24 months, the data is gone. All these retail transactions, well, they're still there, they're anonymized, but they are not related to you anymore as a consumer. And the problem is, how do you get that done? Because again, you might need to either separate or prepare a logical delete. So it's a good question. Question would be, how do you delete old transactions for privacy reasons? If I would be you. So good question to get us over the summer, right? All right, so that's the answer. Yes, so that solution is the right one, but I would further split down the satellite because you really want to separate the personal attributes from the non-personal attributes. So you're able to delete the personal data, the personal deltas from those satellites without affecting the non-personal attributes. That's the idea. All right, just a quick announcement for the upcoming conference. We organized last year a very successful online conference, the Data Agreement 2021, and that was quite a success. I mean, for those Corona times, right? And now it's coming back again, but this time for real on site. So at least that's the plan. Let's see how it goes. But it's on site in Hanover, Germany, September 13 to 14 down here. A very interested set of speakers. Hey, I'm coming. So no, they're much more interesting speakers than me, but I also present some topic. And it's all about data-driven business value. So how can we in our profession help the business to generate value, or how we can generate value for the business, right? With data-driven solutions. That's the idea. That idea came from me, but for the topic. But that's the idea, and very interesting speakers. So the speaker slots are full, to be honest. I don't believe that there's anything left, except if you pack some more people in there, but won't happen because we like to have these sessions and breakout sessions and networking sessions, right? So yeah, looking forward. I'm really looking forward to join the conference. I will be there on site. Hope to see some of you as well on site. So yeah, book your airplane and or get ready, the car ready, and hope to see you in Hanover. In the meantime, because you can't wait for the answers, use this form here, sfr.ee/ddfriday to submit the questions. You can use the form to upload well, the question apparently, and also if you want some images, just like the person here did with the short diagram. I'm good with whiteboard sessions. So if you just draw it on a whiteboard, add the team picture to it, perfect. That's what I want. That's all good. If you want to do this in your favorite modeling tool, that's also good. Perfect. Don't create too big images, right? So if I have to, if it's because I'm working here with a relatively low resolution on purpose, and if I have to cut it, and I might not use it, right? So this one was perfect, actually, good work. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you next Friday. I'll be most probably there. We'll send you an email with the plan. But there will be a session. That's for sure. So yeah, thanks for joining. Have a nice weekend. See you next Friday. Thanks. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thanks for joining today. If you'd like to discuss this further, give us a call on the number below here, and we're happy to discuss this with you. See you next time. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.